voted for a Brexit. In other words, in favor of leaving the European Union. That's the news. We all know that. I'm not here to regurgitate this news for you. I want to show you guys a little bit of perspective on all of this, looking at some charts that unfortunately very few people are looking at to get a real sense of perspective really that we need. Also, I should add that today is a very serious day. This is serious business, so this requires serious attention. There's no sense making fun of this or having staunch opinions. It is what it is, and we need to make sure we can make sense of it and ultimately be able to profit from all of this in the market. So let's get serious and let's look at some charts.
All right, guys, so like I said, this is serious business, so let me go through a few important charts to give you some perspective. Also, keep in mind, this stuff is quite time sensitive. This market's going to be moving quite fast. The coming days might be somewhat chaotic. Let's have a look. First of all, UK 100, the FTSE 100. Look at this chart. By the time you're watching this video, this chart might look a little bit different. Absolutely possible, but you can see a very big move here today, Friday, the 24th of June. We basically are almost back to those February lows, or at today's lows, I should say. We're almost back at those February lows if you take sort of a weekly closing basis. Very, very important. Let's look at, for example, Spain. Okay, want to show you guys a few key indices that are important to watch. Yes, if you are only a US-centric investor, this matters. This matters. Okay, very important. Don't just shut your mind out of anything that's outside the US. That's not how these markets work anymore. Spain. Okay, look at that index breaking below the February lows. Below the February lows. The S&P 500 is somewhere up here. Actually, somewhere up here, actually, in relative terms. Right? Look at Italy. Okay, these are equity indices. We'll go to some other asset class in a second. Look at Italy. Same story here. Look at Italy. Back down at its February lows. Let's look at some banks. Let's look at something like Deutsche Bank. Okay, very big, important stock in Germany. This stock looks like death. Same thing with a stock like Credit Suisse. These European banks, not all, but a lot of them look very, very bad. I still think there's a state bailout that needs to come for something like Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse. Let's look at, for example, obviously some currencies. Sterling, dollar, GBP, USD. You can see sterling a very, very nasty breakdown to fresh lows for the year. In fact, if you peel back the last time this chart or the sterling was this week versus the dollar, you have to peel back quite some time. In fact, it's probably back in 2009. Okay, so very, very big moves there. The dollar index in and of itself is actually moving as well. Let's look at here we have treasuries. So this is the 10-year treasury yield, or actually its price terms. You can see US data now. You can see this is breaking higher. Okay, how about gold? These are gold futures. Same deal, breaking higher. Very much a risk off environment. Now let's look at E-mini futures. I have to do this right now. Look at the futures as opposed to cash markets. Cash markets, as of when I'm recording this, are not yet open. S&P 500 E-mini futures, ugly day so far. Let's look at the cash markets real quick. Obviously, this will not yet be reflecting today's move, or certainly not a weekly close. To me, a very important line in the sand is 2040. If we see a daily and preferably weekly close below there, and I say preferably for the bears, 2040 is your line in the sand in the S&P 500. If we stay below there, bearing any sudden quick snapback on Monday, Tuesday, if we stay below there, I think the S&P 500 goes well below 2000, probably 1960 or so, your next support area. Okay, so those are a few charts. I want to keep it very nice and simple. I hope this makes sense, guys. Please also subscribe to my Instagram channel, instagram.com/steadytrader. Have a good weekend.